Okay, so you want to own an Airbnb. On paper, this looks like one of the cleanest businesses in the world. You buy a house, furnish it once, list it online, and let tourists pay your mortgage. No factory, no inventory, no employees. Just a pretty property, a smart lock, and money showing up while you sleep. Here's the part nobody tells you. The moment you turn a house into an Airbnb, you are not really buying a passive real estate investment anymore. You are buying a tiny hotel with residential walls, hotel level expectations, and neighborhood level political risk. And that changes the math completely because the money does not disappear in one big dramatic place. It disappears in 10 small, boring places: cleaning, vacancy, supplies, utilities, repairs, platform fees, taxes, insurance, permits, management. And if you finance the property at modern rates, 1 week season can wipe out the whole fantasy fast. By the end of this video, you'll understand what it really costs to get into this business, where Airbnb hosts actually make money, what kills them, and why owning short-term rentals got a lot more dangerous the moment cities started treating them like what they really are. Let's start with the buy-in. If you already own a property free and clear, your math is one thing. Most people do not. Most people are buying or refinancing into this idea. Take a $500,000 house. With 20 to 25% down, you're putting up roughly $100,000 to $125,000 before closing costs. Add another $10,000 to $20,000 in closing, then another $15,000 to $40,000 to furnish the place so it actually looks like something people would book online. That means your simple Airbnb side income play can easily start $130,000 to $180,000 deep before the first guest checks in. And that still does not include the boring setup costs nobody brags about: linens, towels, kitchen gear, smart locks, cameras, Wi-Fi, restocking inventory, exterior work, professional photos, local licensing, emergency maintenance. If the property needs even minor cosmetic work, the startup bill climbs fast. Then the monthly burn starts: mortgage, property tax, insurance, utilities, internet, lawn care, pest control, cleaner coordination, platform software, replacement items. The guest who breaks a chair is not your biggest problem. The guest who leaves the place empty for 4 extra nights because your calendar slipped out of rhythm is. That's the first lie in this business. People think Airbnb is real estate. It is not. It is occupancy management attached to real estate. And occupancy is where the entire thing becomes fragile. A long-term rental gets paid once a month. An Airbnb has to resell the same box over and over again, night by night, week by week, season by season. If demand softens, if new hosts flood the market, if a city cracks down, if a few bad reviews hit, if a hotel nearby cuts price, your income does not dip politely. It snaps. Now, where does the money actually come from? Most outsiders think the business is simple: charge a high nightly rate and collect the spread. That is incomplete. The real money comes from a 3-part game. First, buying the right property at the right basis. If you overpay, you are dead before you start. A beautiful Airbnb bought with ugly debt is still ugly math. Second, keeping occupancy high enough that your fixed costs get diluted across enough nights. The difference between 55% occupancy and 75% occupancy is not a small improvement. In many markets, that is the difference between nice little side business and why am I subsidizing strangers to live in my house? Third, operational discipline, pricing, cleaning speed, review management, guest screening, calendar control, and fast maintenance. This is the part influencers hide because it makes the business sound less sexy. But this is where the margin lives. You are not just renting a home. You are running a miniature revenue management machine. That's why two identical properties on the same street can have completely different outcomes. One host is making money because they bought lower, price aggressively, turn the property fast, protect reviews, and keep costs tight. The other one is posting Airbnb paid my mortgage screenshots while quietly ignoring replacements, seasonal vacancies, and the fact that the hot tub just became a future expense with bubbles. And then there's the fee stack. Airbnb takes its cut. In many standard host setups, the host service fee is around 3%, and in other models, the host burden can be much higher. Then the cleaner gets paid. Then the property manager, if you use one, often takes 15 to 30% of revenue. Then utilities, which are way higher than a normal rental, because guests do not pay your power bill emotionally. Then supplies, then repairs, then local taxes and permit costs. That sounds manageable until you do the math on a real example. Say a property averages $250 a night and books 18 nights a month. That's $4,500 gross. Sounds decent. Now strip out the platform fee, cleaning turns, utilities, internet, maintenance reserve, supplies, taxes, insurance, mortgage. If you hired management, take another big slice. Suddenly, that clean $4,500 starts looking a lot more like a stressed operator trying to defend a few $100s of real cash flow. And that is before vacancy. This is where people get trapped. They model the upside and emotionally average out the downtime. The calendar does not care about your optimism. Now the second trap, the house itself. An Airbnb takes more abuse than a normal rental and more emotional labor than a normal investment property. Guests arrive expecting hotel quality, but they are staying inside an asset you own personally. That means every scratch, leak, stain, noise complaint, broken appliance, and late-night lock issue lands on your business. The property is not just a property anymore. It is a product, and products require maintenance. Then there's regulation, which is why this topic matters right now. For years, short-term rentals got pitched like a cheat code. Buy house, list house, win. Cities noticed, neighborhoods noticed, hotels definitely noticed. So now, in market after market, short-term rentals are getting hit with permit systems, zoning restrictions, registration rules, occupancy caps, tax enforcement, HOA bans, and outright hostility. Even where they are still legal, they are less frictionless than they used to be. The easy era attracted too many operators. The crowded era exposed the weak ones. That means this business is now being squeezed from both sides. Top-line pressure from more competition, bottom-line pressure from more regulation and higher carrying costs. And that is brutal when your whole thesis depends on high nightly income covering expensive debt. Look at the two versions of this business. Version 1, the disciplined operator. Good market, good basis, no HOA headache, reasonable debt, strong occupancy, tight costs. Maybe they self-manage, maybe they own multiple units and can spread cleaners, supplies, and systems across the portfolio. That person can build a very real business. Version 2, the late buyer, bought the dream at peak prices. Furnished on a credit card, financed at a painful rate. Depends on weekends, local events, and summer traffic. Uses management because they do not want calls. Then, one policy change, one off-season, one review slump, one repair cluster, and the passive income property becomes a monthly donation to the mortgage company. That's the split. This business can work. But it only works when the property, the financing, the market, and the operations line up at the same time. Most people only underwrite 2 of those 4. And here's the final reframe. This is not really a real estate business. It is a hotel business, a yield management business, and a local regulation bet wearing the costume of real estate. That is why Airbnb ownership looks so good on social media. You can show the kitchen, you can show the mountain view, you can show the gross revenue screenshot. What you cannot show as easily is the calendar gap, the cleaning invoice, the insurance renewal, the permit renewal, the broken dishwasher, the neighbor complaint, the slower winter, and the rate cut you made at 11:40 p.m. because nobody booked Tuesday. That's the trap. Owning an Airbnb is not buy house, print money. It is buy a small hotel, pray the city still likes you, and fight every month to keep occupancy high enough that the spreadsheet doesn't turn on you.